Oh, hello, friends. Sorry. Hey, look what my back when I bought my new house in July. My sweet realtor lady, Lisa, look what she bought me. Look at this, a beach towel with the plexi-sole thing on it. That's my face there. Oh, Larry. That's sweet. Anyway, thought you'd enjoy that. Friends, hope everybody's great. I know you're probably getting sick of me. I've been over posting badly. But I do this because there's always those dark periods, where I get real quiet and you don't hear from me for a long time. I go off the radar, off the grid. That happens, so I try to overpost when I'm feeling when I'm in the mood to make videos, I overdo it so that you don't get too bummed if you ever go through the dark period, right? My dear boys are downstairs playing Xbox, so you're going to hear them yelling and hooting and hollering. We've been having a great time today. But I took a break to set up Marshall's new Stratocaster for him. The one that he bought when we were up in Cleveland. This is, he fell in love with this guitar. It's a 70th anniversary. It says made in Enchilada. No, what does that say? Made in Ensenada. I guess that ain't around here. But yeah, kind of heavy. But for some reason, he just loves this guitar. And I think it's fucking awesome. Here, let me play it for you for a second. Let me tune it up. It's not staying in tune very well. I'm going to address that. I didn't make that riff up. That's actually a riff that someone else had. But yeah, cool guitar. We're going to make it even cooler. It's got 9s on it now, and I just looked through all my string stash. I don't have any 9s. So I've got to use these strings. I'd like to change them for him, but I don't really have a choice. The thing that's bothering him the most is the wang bar is too stiff. He doesn't like that. And it's got a lot of up bend. I'm going to fix all that. So let's start with that. I'm going to have to bend that bar and do all that shit for him. It's probably got 5 springs. We'll see. But I got a bunch of VCB I can get into if we start getting too bored. So I hope you guys packed a sandwich. And make sure you go pee before we start this video. But I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. It's been great, relaxing. I got a crazy work week starting tomorrow. Next couple weeks, actually, crazy. But sweet Danny Huff, my dear friend, I'm doing a video with him tomorrow, talking about the release of his new record, and that'll be fun. I was just gonna go over his house and do it, but I just started thinking, why don't we just go over to Brett Papa's and do it right? So I just called Brett a minute ago and said, you working tomorrow? And he says he had an appointment, but he was able to move it. So we're going to do it over there. That'll be great. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know you're going to enjoy Dan's record. It's fucking great because he's great. And it's going to be, I think you're going to really dig it. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this bar is very stiff. And it's also got a lot of upbend. Man, I don't know how I'm going to fix that. It's got too much upbend. But it's even going to get stiffer if I tighten these. Maybe I'll take it down to 1 spring or 2 springs. Hell, I don't know. Let's see what we got. Just need to bend that bar. He's just gonna have to deal with it. What happens if I take the mill spring out? No, that ain't gonna work. We'll sort it out. I got some. You know what? You know what's very exciting? I wanted to tell you about. I'm really excited about this. Yesterday, I got a text from Dean DeLeo, my dear friend from the Trip to Witch band. I had sent him a track a while back, instrumental track that I did over at my friend Maddie Alger's studio. A tender little piece, melodic piece, and I said, hey man, you know, we've been talking about starting up a new record, and you know, a while back I said, man, if you want to add something to this, go ahead and do it. And this was months ago, and we've kind of been dragging our feet on that. But just yesterday, I got a text from him, and he had gone in the studio and he added some beautiful slide guitar to this track that I had already done. And I swear to God, you guys, it's just, I got all emotional when I heard it. I started, Leo was looking at me, he goes, you crying, Dad? I played it for Marshall, and he was like really moved by it. Because he's going through a Stone Temple Pilots phase anyway, Marshall is. I think I mentioned that to you guys. But man, you know, Dean just puts the tastiest shit. It sounded so Trip to Witch. I was like, yes. And it's going to be great. So, you know, all it takes is a fire like that, a little fire to start a little spark to start a big fire, I should say. And I'm going to go in and do some more tracks and then have him add his magic overdubs, because that's how he did the first album. You know, he's great at that. So it was very cool. I got all emotional yesterday, and I rarely ever feel feelings. I was actually feeling feelings. And it's very cool. Dean's awesome. And I'm really excited about making another record with him, because I got to be honest, man. I was a little hesitant to go back in and make the second album, because I thought, I had a feeling of the sophomore jinx, you know, like I was thinking, man, how are we ever going to top that first album? That first album just, you know, turned out better than we ever hoped it would. But I'm over that now. Enough time has gone by. I'm ready to go in and make another one. And so we're going to get started on that. And it's going to be fun as hell. I'm excited. All right, I'm going to bend this arm a little bit. I'm going to do the old thing where I bend the arm. Hot swap. All right. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, I mean, that is exciting. Because I've been thinking about that, and, you know, and I really want to get started doing that again. He's just the coolest, man. Dean's awesome. Bend this a little bit. Let's see what we got. You know, Jimi Hendrix used to bend his vibrato arms, I've been told. We all do. You got to get them just where you want them. You know? You got to get them just where you want them. That's too high. Yeah, that's too high. I'm going to bend it more. What else was I going to tell you? Let's get into some VCB here. Where's the corporate eye? I've got the... One guy said... Oh, I wanted to say thanks to you guys for all the sweet words about these recent videos, the comparison videos. You know, one guy said, really digging that black PRS single cut. It has its own vibe. A lot of people were very, very complimentary about that guitar. And both the PRS guitars that I tried. There's a lot of guys out there that just love the PRS guitars, and I get it. I love them too. Like I said, you know, they're polarizing instruments for some reason, but man, you got to give Paul credit for making well-made. He doesn't fuck around, man. That shit is well-made. It's not, you know, it's professional shit. He's doing a fine job. And yeah, they're not everybody's cup of tea and all that stuff, but man, you know, imagine how hard it is to it's come along in this modern world when everything's been done 1,000 times over and start a guitar company and kick as much ass as Paul Reed Smith has. I mean, you love him or hate him, you could say whatever you want. That boy has kicked ass in the guitar business. You can't deny that. You can't. Who's going to deny that? He did his own thing. He made his own style of guitars. Sure, he borrowed a few things from previous designs, but you know what? We all do. I'm proud of him. I don't know him very well. Like we've been, I've been talking to him on the phone for several years now, and but I respect the shit out of that guy. I think he's doing great things, and I'm happy for him. I think he's awesome. That might be just where we need. Yes, that's right where we need it now. So, yeah, I mean, I just tried to be very honest in the evaluations of those instruments. There's no reason. He wanted me to just, be brutally honest, and I did. I mean, what you heard me say about those instruments, exactly how I feel. I'm not trying to shine anything on or, be up with people about any of this stuff. That's what Paul wants. That's what I want. I love to give brutal, honest opinions about things, and I want people to do the same for me. I don't care if you hate me. Just be honest about it. There's a lot of people out there that hate me, and the number seems to be growing. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. I do what I do. I believe what I believe in, and I stick with it. And I think you should do the same, friends. Let's see how kind of upbend we got now. Yeah, that's where we need to be. Okay, that's good. Now let's tune the pitch. Here's another BCB. The guy said, this one's interesting. Maybe you guys can decipher this, because I don't speak whatever language this dude's speaking. Where is it? Where is it? Sorry, I should have prepared this. Oh, Lord. Oh God, I can't find it. There was a good one that I had put aside. Here's another one that I had saved. Actually, I saved this. Person said, "Hey Tom, great video as always. Just wondering what your overall take and opinion on boutique guitars and builders is. Upsides, downsides, injustices, where they fit." Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so boutique amps and guitars. I have many thoughts on these things. Okay, like my friend Steve, the guitar player that's in the Cliffs, young fellow. These guys are in their early 20s, and I'm an old man compared to these guys, and I'm trying to every once in a while help them avoid some of the mistakes that I made when I was that age. And they already know these guys are way more advanced than I was when I was that age. And I sometimes feel like reluctant to ever try to teach them anything, because they're doing really great. But Steve asked me if he texted me a picture of an amp that he had, a modern boutique amp that he said, anybody that might want to buy this? And I said, dude, I hate to tell you this, but one thing I have learned in this life, the only thing that's harder to sell than a used boutique amp is a used mattress. And that is a fact, my friends. When I had that music store for 3 years back in the mid 2010s, I learned the hard way. If it doesn't say Fender, Vox, or Marshall on it, and you go to sell it, you can't give it away. I don't care how much fucking money you paid for it. I think I might have mentioned this to you guys already, but if I didn't, let me say it again. It's insane. Nobody will give you anything for it. You end up having to give it away. It's just the way it is. Sure, people love to buy old Fender amps, old Vox, old Marshalls. They love that stuff, and they'll always pay for that. But anything else, man, good luck trying to sell it. I imagine the same is true for the vintage or the boutique guitar world. I don't really have as much experience in that because I don't usually buy shit like that. But I know, Lord, man. I mean, we had so many boutique amps in that store, and nobody would touch them. Like Dr. Z, divided by 13, all this shit. We couldn't give it away. I remember we had these good cell amps. We had a bunch of those. And my friend Rick, who was still alive at the time, he used to call them hard cells. I mean, these are all great amps, top hats and shit like that. There's nothing wrong with the gear. It's good gear. It's just trying to sell it was a whole nother story. But anyway, I stay away from shit like that personally because I like to buy stuff that I can get in and out of quickly. If you buy an old Gibson acoustic or an old P bass or an old Marshall or an old blackface Fender or an old Tweed, you're never going to have a hard time selling it. If you stay with that kind of stuff, you want to be safe with your investments, buy a fucking blackface Princeton Reverb. I could sell 10 of those a day if I had them. But man, try to sell a boutique amp, forget it. I don't care how good it is. It's not about the amps being good or bad. It's not that at all. It's just their used market appeal. That's all it is. Let me see if I can find this fucking. There's this one kid. The guy might have pulled it down because it was pretty heavy. He probably did actually. It was about a Duesenberg guitar. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for this. I don't want to bore you guys. One guy said, Larry, a $1,000 Uncle Larry's signature guitar would sell out regardless of the body style or manufacturer. You could print money with that venture. The industry trusts your opinion, and the momentum with your fan base is peaking. Perfect group of complimentary people around you too. Life is parabolic, and from our perspective, your arch is climbing faster than ever. Take us to space, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you feeling so confident about that. But I don't know. Maybe so, but I don't want to do that. Look. Why did I do the Duesenberg signature model? Because I didn't do that to get my name on a guitar. I did that because it's a fucking cool guitar. And it's something that people can really use. I would never just put my name on some fucking cheapo guitar just to get my name on it. I don't do that. I won't do that. And I realize there's probably some money to be made and everything. I didn't make $1 on this Duesenberg deal, and I didn't want $1. Nathan, the guy from Duesenberg, said, look, I'll send you some free ones. You can have a couple of those for your sons. But, they're not selling enough of those things to make a bunch of money. And I don't want money. I just want Duesenberg to do well. Because I love the company. I think they make great instruments. But man, I've had people ask me to make pedals and, my signature pedal. I don't want to do any of that shit. I mean, if I came up with some design of a pedal that was fucking awesome, that was something that I would really use, I would put my name on it and offer it for sale. But I'm not a tweaker guy. I don't know how to build pedals. I do come up with ideas for pedals all the time, and I sometimes mention them to my friends, but nothing ever seems to come of it. Because I'm not really a follow-through kind of guy when it comes to that kind of shit. Lots of ideas, and hardly any of them ever come to fruition. It's the Cleveland thing. Here's a great lick for you. Ready? Let's say you're in the key of D. Okay, here's the lick. I showed you this before, but I want to re-show it to you. So it's like a Dr. John kind of piano lick. If you're in the key of D, there's your pentagrammic scale. One of the cool in-between notes on the pentatonic scale, if you wanted to use some of the other notes that Gus doesn't know, you could go from the 4 of the key of D. You could slide from the 4 sharp 4 down to the 4, and that gives you a cool color. Like if you're in this key, right? So one of the cool like New Orleans style piano licks is they go like. So what's happening there is you go major, and then you go minor, F, D, G sharp, G, and then back to major. And if you get a little rake like that, it sounds like a piano roll. You know, you can do it. Minor, sharp 4. What ends up happening there is right in the middle of that D chord, you get a flat diminished. Just for a second. That's kind of fun. So there's that. Here's I found that question. This guy named Johnny Layton said, sometimes I wonder that Uncle Larry goes for the top tier vintage electric guitars because he doesn't want to spoil himself for having such a fantastic signature electric guitar available to anyone that can really hold its own against any other electric guitar from any era or vintage. I don't quite understand that, but I'm reading it to you anyway. Maybe you guys speak this language. He said, but I get it. I wouldn't be caught dead holding that dues for a headbanging walk-in fest event. Never mind hand it over to one of the Scorpions guitarists to play. It simply isn't the appropriate instrument for all musical styles and genres. Johnny, my dear boy, I could not disagree more, first of all. The guitar was made in Germany, and we're at a German heavy metal festival. What's the problem? I don't get it. And the guitar sounded killer on the gig. It was the perfect guitar to bring and to blast through the Reynolds backline JCM 800 I played through. But anyway, that's fine. I'm glad you feel that way. Hey, boys. They're having some fun down there. There's a couple more here. The black PRS has not been doing it for me. It's way too polite sounding, the guy says. Look, it's would you think that if that was the only guitar I played? Would you think that if I didn't compare it to any other guitars? That's the thing. You can say what you want in hindsight after you hear a shootout video, but if I just played that guitar for you, you wouldn't think that it sounded like that. It sounds good. People listen with their eyes a lot of times. I mean, yes, that to my ears, that pickup doesn't have a lot of tough guy mid-range, no, but it sounds good, I think. But what the fuck I know. Hey, Tom, I think your stalker secretly has a man crush on you. The rest of us have a bro crush. Have a great day. Yes, I think that's true. Let's see. There was a couple more good ones in here. When I hear that Dean, I feel like somebody could break a bottle over my head in a fight and I would be unfazed, even though I would probably still get my ass kicked. The sound of the Dean inspires me to eliminate all fear. Yeah, man, those guitars are nasty. I think that was the whole point of those instruments. You know, when Dean Zelinsky was making those things in the late 70s, I think that he was picturing people clubbing them over people's heads. I get that. Hey, Tom, when you play the slower tempo songs, it feels like you wear your heart on your sleeve in a good way, as the melodies are just beautiful and inspiring. Yesterday, my wife and I had our twin granddaughters out at the house. Can't wait till they get old enough to be homeschoolers. Thank you so much, buddy. Michael Darren sent that. What a sweet, sweet thing to say. See, those are the kind of comments that just make me go, wow, this is a great little community of sweetheart people. Thank you, man, for saying that. That's very nice. I get a lot of those videos people send me of their kids watching the show. They're like young kids, and that means a lot to a dad of 2 kids. That means a lot. I understand that. You guys are awesome. One guy said, the little riff at 1801 on the doozy got me deep. That little chord change was the sweetest. Let's see if we can find it. Here, I don't know what he's talking about. Here, let's play. Okay, yeah, that's your typical, you know, we've talked about this before, but let me recap this. I think I started with some B stuff, right? But I think the money part of that he's talking about is like, you go to the 4 chord, the E. Anytime you slide that 6 there, sliding the 2 middle strings on a bar from 4 to 6. That's your Hendrix type stuff. That works good. Nothing wrong with that. How many minutes? We're at 27 minutes. Shit, I better hang up soon. Well, let's go for a little longer. Let's set the intonation on this thing. Man, this time just flies on these. That's sharp. Let's fix that. Imagine that. The G string intonation is sharp. How weird. Sharp too. Let's get that going. And then I can just tell visually, just looking at these, that the rest are going to be sharp as well. So I'm just going to adjust those. Any guitar that's intonated properly, you'll always have 3 in a line and 3 in a line. I'm going to do these 2 because I know they're going to be wrong. You know, intonation is like, it's not that hard. People get all mystified by it. But it's not that hard. The concept, in the simplest terms, is that you want the fretted note at the 12th fret to be the same pitch as the open string, right? That's really all it is. I'll tell you this, man, when it ain't right, you know it. None of your chords will sound right. Every time you go to play a low 5th on the bass strings, it's always sharp. Sounds weird and buzzy, or like it sounds like the notes beat together in a weird way. You know what I'm talking about. That's a little sharp still, but I'll show you in a second when I get this right. You'll see what I'm talking about. The guitar just goes into like full surrender as it's in tune. Man, Marshall is crushing it on the guitar. I am like just laughing when I hear him practicing in his room. He's coming up with some crazy shit, man. I'm expecting great things out of those boys. A little sharp there. We're getting close, friends. Try to get this into the 30-minute mark. Sharp on the B still. When the string's sharp, you gotta make the saddle go that way. And then you do the test chord. There it is. O, 14, 16, 16, 16, X. If you get it sounding like that, you're in good shape. Or this chord. X, 10, 12, O, 12, X. And the final thing is to check for the nut binding. Check this out. When you got, can you see that? When you play the open string, you should bend it, or you use the wangulator, and it's in tune. You should be able to bend behind the nut and let go. And it should go back to tune here, and it does on this guitar. See, the problem with this instrument is I'm clearly seeing, if I had strings, I would fix it, but there's zero, look at that. Can you see? There's zero downward pull on the G. There's not enough wraps on that string. Look at the break coming over the nut. There's not enough break. So, of course, you get this, which would, hear that? That extra bullshit in the note, that would go away if you, see? That's why Glazer makes the 3 string trees. Those are great. Then you don't have to put a million winds on the G and the D. But if you don't have the 3 string tree or the 4 string, you just got a million winds on there is the best you can do. So I'll bend there. Let go. That one's good. It's not binding. None of these are binding. That one is. Yeah, that's binding real bad. So you can put the pencil lead in there, which is the old gag we do, right? Like that. I like it when it gets all messy and you can see it. I like that look. And the whole nuts is covered in pencil lead. That bothers some people, but I like it. It's a working man's instrument at that point. You know the guy's working. This guitar could greatly benefit from a D string and G string tree. I'm going to raise these pickups a little bit too. They're low, 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 low. You see that? They need to come up a little bit. I like them low, but not that low. Especially when Marshall's trying to play the rock and roll. You can't get them that low. I do like some low pickups though. This whole thing just feels a little plinky to me. It's probably because there's not enough brake coming over the nut. But it's the nines and the fact that there's not enough downward pull. How's the neck look? It's dead straight. I mean, it's dead straight. Listen to that tuning. Okay, we're in good shape. Check it out. I'm gonna tune the guitar. Okay. I like the fact that these, from the factory, they put a tone control on the bridge pickup. And see? You don't get that on an old 65. That's a pretty bright pickup. Lord. Let's see if we can toughen it up by getting the bass side up. Okay, everything's on 10. Okay, the last thing I'll do real quick, shoot out with the 65 Strat, just so we can hear these clean pickups, okay? Whoa, I'll fall. Okay. Here's the dead stock 65 Stratocaster. Everything up. Neck pickup. Middle pickup. God damn, this is a sweet guitar. Okay, so here's the new one again. I'll play that same shit. I mean, these are nines, so I'm gonna chalk a lot of that up to this nines, but there's just the warmth coming off of the other one, and the mid-range warmth. You just don't. There's ain't none of that here. But let's just focus on this F sharp note. Okay, here's the same thing on this. Okay. And this sounds like records. Man, especially that note. Okay, friends. Sorry for the long video. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.